Set in 1957, during the peak of the Cold War, Bridge of Spies follows the real-life events surrounding a high-stakes prisoner exchange between the United States and the Soviet Union, as tensions over nuclear weapons and espionage reach a boiling point. In Brooklyn, a quiet and mysterious man named Rudolph Abel paints a self-portrait. He receives a phone call and listens silently. Calmly leaving his apartment, he roams the city, unaware that he is being tailed by FBI agents Blasco and Gamber. The agents lose him briefly in a subway station, but later spot him painting on a bench in the park. As Abel leaves, he retrieves a hollow coin from beneath the bench. Back in his apartment, he slices it open with a razor to reveal a tiny hidden message. Just then, the FBI raids his home, accusing him of espionage. While they search the apartment, Abel quickly smears the message with paint, concealing its content. Across town, Donovan, a respected insurance lawyer, is approached by his law firm and government officials. He's asked to defend Abel to demonstrate that the American legal system provides fair trials, even for alleged enemies. Though hesitant, Donovan accepts the task, fully aware that defending a suspected Soviet spy could damage his reputation and endanger his family. At home, his wife Mary is uneasy, and his daughter Carol is upset over a canceled date. Donovan's assistant Forrester is reluctantly pulled into the case as well. Despite the risks, Donovan firmly believes in the principle of justice. Donovan visits Abel in prison. The man is calm, cooperative, but remains silent about his mission. Despite knowing he's unlikely to win the case, Donovan is determined to provide a real defense. He questions not only Abel's actions, but also the legality of the FBI's search, conducted without a warrant. Elsewhere, Francis Gary Powers, a U.S. Air Force pilot, undergoes a lie detector test before being briefed on a secret mission. He joins a covert CIA operation involving U-2 spy planes, tasked with flying over Soviet territory at high altitudes to capture images of nuclear sites. The pilots are instructed to never allow the planes, or themselves, to fall into Soviet hands. Donovan's request for a continuance is denied by a biased judge who, like the rest of the courtroom, assumes Abel's guilt. Donovan refuses to share any privileged information with CIA agent Hoffman, remaining loyal to legal ethics despite subtle threats. During trial preparations, Donovan discovers that the FBI searched Abel's apartment illegally, without a warrant. However, the judge allows the evidence anyway. As the trial begins, the public turns hostile, and Donovan is treated with suspicion. His son even builds a fallout shelter at home after watching a school film on nuclear war. Abel is eventually found guilty. While the prosecution demands the death penalty, Donovan persuades the judge to impose 30 years of imprisonment, arguing Abel may be useful for a future exchange. The public is outraged, and Donovan faces immense criticism. His family is harassed, and a bullet is fired at their home one night. Meanwhile, Powers embarks on a mission over Soviet airspace. His plane is struck by missiles, and though he tries to self-destruct the craft, he's captured after ejecting. The Soviets sentence him to 10 years, including 3 years in prison. Back in New York, Donovan is isolated at work. He receives a letter from East Germany, allegedly from Abel's wife, suggesting contact with a lawyer named Wolfgang Vogel. Abel confirms the letter is fake, likely a Soviet message hinting at a prisoner swap, Abel for Powers. The CIA quietly recruits Donovan to travel to Berlin as a private citizen to negotiate the exchange, keeping official U.S. involvement hidden. In West Berlin, American economics student Frederick Pryor crosses near the Berlin Wall construction site to visit his girlfriend. The East German Stasi arrest him, suspecting espionage. When Donovan learns of Pryor's imprisonment, he insists both Powers and Pryor should be exchanged, despite the CIA only focusing on Powers. Donovan travels through East Berlin, losing his coat to a gang along the way. He meets Vogel and attends a strange meeting where people posing as Abel's family try to mislead him. Shaken, he later speaks with a Soviet embassy official, who explains the Soviets are hesitant to exchange Abel for Powers immediately, suspecting Abel may have revealed secrets. They also say they have no authority over Pryor, who was captured by East Germany. Donovan eventually locates Vogel again, who proposes exchanging Abel for Pryor, but the CIA warns Donovan to focus solely on Powers. Unmoved, Donovan pressures the East Germans, warning that failure to release Pryor will endanger future diplomacy and inflame Soviet-German tensions. After intense back-channel discussions, both Soviet and East German officials agree. On a cold morning, Glienicke Bridge is chosen as the site for the exchange. Joe Murphy, a friend of Powers, verifies his identity, while Pryor is brought to Checkpoint Charlie. The swap proceeds. Pryor is released, Powers crosses the bridge, and Abel calmly walks back to the Soviet side. Before leaving, he tells Donovan he's left him a gift. The two men exchange a final glance of mutual respect. On the flight home, Powers assures Donovan he didn't betray his country. Donovan responds that it no longer matters. Back home, Donovan opens Abel's parting gift, a portrait of Donovan, painted by Abel himself. His family is shocked to see his name on the news, having believed he was on a fishing trip. His wife finds him resting peacefully. The next morning, on a train, Donovan notices the once judgmental public now viewing him with newfound respect. A woman who once looked at him with contempt now smiles. Through the window, Donovan watches children climbing a fence, reminding him of the Berlin Wall and the hope he helped restore. Rudolf Abel returned to the Soviet Union and was never officially confirmed as a spy. Francis Gary Powers died in a helicopter crash in 1977. Frederick Pryor went on to become a professor at Swarthmore College. James B. Donovan was later commissioned by President John F. Kennedy to negotiate the release of 1,000 Cuban exiles captured after the Bay of Pigs invasion. His efforts ultimately secured the freedom of over 9,000 men, women, and children.